Hi everyone. In the last episode, I discussed about the split brain theory. See, as I said, this is one half of the brain, this is another half of the brain. So we have these two halves of the brain which define our personality. Please understand this simple logic. In one half of the brain, you are very emotionally attached to your goal, you visualize your goal, you get restless to achieve this goal, you are very keen, you are willing to sacrifice anything, all that is because of the right side of the brain. Now supposing if the left side is not cooperating, what happens? You don't know what to do next. This is the logical brain. This is the emotional brain. This brain tells you, I want to go there. I want to reach there. I am willing to sacrifice anything for that. But the left brain has to be put into operation. The left brain tells you, yes, if you want to reduce your weight, you have to be disciplined in your diet. You need to do jogging. You need to be conscious about the calorific value of the food that you are taking. Behave yourself properly. Right? So, these two sides of the brain are very relevant for our goal achievement, but the way they function is very, very important. Then, how do these two brains communicate with each other? It's something like, in a bicycle, there are the front wheel and there is the back wheel, rear wheel. There is a chain connecting the front wheel and the back wheel. The chain should work. If the chain snaps, then you have a problem. There will be no movement. Similarly, there has to be a communication between the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. So, visualize this, right? So, this is one half of the brain, this is the other half of the brain, and what you see in between is called corpus callosum. Corpus callosum. The corpus callosum connects the two sides of the brain and constant communication is taking place between these two sides of the brain. And once a rhythm is reached between these two sides of the brain, you see what is called the flow, you see movement. If the left side of the brain is not cooperating, then you become a dreamer. You end up dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. You don't take the next step. If only the left side of the brain is working and the right side of the brain is lazy, not doing anything, you go on working and working and working. You don't know where you are going. The whole thing becomes very, very routine, mechanical way of living. So, hitting a balance between these two is very, very important. Maybe later on in this series of lectures, I am going to talk to you about how to integrate the left brain and the right brain by exercises called brain gym exercises. In this episode, I am going to give you a very practical case study as narrated by a very senior IAS officer. The context is, do you visualize, do you get excited about your goal? How the goal is implanted in your right side of the brain? How do you embed your future in your brain? He says that when he was around the 4th standard studying in a school down south, on a particular day, there was the school day, the school was celebrating the annual day celebrations. A VIP came in a white car, those days ambassador car. Somebody got down from the car with a peculiar uniform, something striped band across, and there's a turban. He opens the car and a person gets down along with his PA. And this small little boy is watching and is excited. So he is very curious. He asks his father, "Dad, who is that person?" The father was a school teacher. The mother was a school teacher. And the father answers, "My dear child, he is the district collector of this place." The boy is so excited, the VIP treatment given to that person. And the boy asks the father, "What should I do to get the job?" Just imagine a 4th or 5th standard student. The father replies, "You should become an IAS officer." Oh. And the boy says, "Okay, Dad, I'll become an IAS officer." And that moment, the right brain has caught this idea. And ever since the boy goes on thinking about to become an IAS officer, become an IAS officer. The next day the boy says, "Dad, I'm in Tamil medium school. Why didn't you ship me to English medium school?" Why? "I want to become an IAS officer." So the father admits him in an English medium school. In the mind, only thing which is embedded is to become an IAS officer, to become an IAS officer. He passes the school final exam with a distinction, highest mark. And still the brain, the right brain, always tells him IAS officer, IAS officer. So he has got a picture of himself. When he was working very hard, whenever he was about to give up, whenever he was giving up his perseverance, he had a trick. The trick is, he visualized how his father and mother's face will be when he becomes an IAS officer. So visualizes how and what will be the facial expression of my parents when I become an IAS officer. He gets that picture and stores the picture in the right side of the brain. Now, because the right brain of the brain is visual, it can store pictures. Whenever he recalls somebody's face, it is in the right side of the brain. Okay? So, whenever he feels tired, look at that picture. That gives them the inspiration. In NLP, we call these as anchor, visual anchor. Then he gets a seat in the medical college. He goes and joins there. A few days later, he also gets a seat in engineering college. The boy decides immediately, I should go to the engineering college. Why? I want to get into that IAS officer slot. He goes to the dean of the medical college, "Sir, I want to take my TC. Why? I want to go join engineering." The dean asking him, "Are you mad? These days very difficult to get a medical seat, not an engineering seat." "No, sir, I want to become an IAS officer." The picture of his parents getting excited, the visual picture which encourages him, gives him every step in direction. And so he takes the TC, goes and joins the College of Engineering, Gindi. There again, his mind is only working on that visual picture. How am I going to reach there? How am I going to reach there? He passes out with a distinction. Then he says, target Delhi, because Delhi, the chances of his getting admitted into a IAS coaching center is high those days. Joins IIT Delhi, registers for MIT, but his goal, IAS officer. And whenever he was about to give up, that picture. And so he passes, he writes the UPSC Civil Services exam, rank number 7, got it. The only motivating factor was that picture. He is today a very senior IAS officer. In fact, he wrote a series of articles in my magazine called Vaname Ellai, Akkini Kunjundru Contain. I use this in my counseling seminar. I use this in my personal counseling. When students come to me directionless, when parents come with a complaint that my son is directionless, he is lazy, simple exercise I used to give. Make a collage of your future. 10 years from now, what is it you want to be? Make a collage. And when you are drawing the collage, you know what happens? The right brain is very, very active. The left brain gives you the steps, the colors, and the pictures that should go into this collage. And I have seen one more example. I will narrate it now. Way back, maybe about 25 years, a parent came to me with his 8th standard student, a child, with a complaint that he's not working hard enough. So I called this boy to my office. I asked him, what's your goal? He said, I want to become a doctor. Then I talked to him what it means to become a doctor. Those days, no NEET exam and all that, but you had to score the highest mark so that you get selected. I gave him a simple exercise. Make a collage. 10 years from now, what will be your image, picture of yourself becoming a doctor? I gave him some magazines. I gave him scissors and some Fevistick. I gave him a large drawing sheet. I said, I'll come after a week. I want you to make a collage of your future when you become a doctor. A week later, I go there. He had a huge chart. At the center of the chart, he had a palatial building, multi-story building. And those days, Chennai LIC building. He cut and pasted at that. And he said, sir, this is my hospital. Then he had pasted a huge bungalow. He said, that's my house, sir. I worked very hard and this is my proud house. Then another corner of the collage, he had pasted a big queue. You know, at that year there was a general election and people were waiting to cast their vote. That queue, he pasted it in front of his clinic and said, they are all patients waiting to meet me. Then he had done one more peculiar thing. He put his picture on the top, this side of the thing. And one of his old uncle, he had his stethoscope, not used for some time. He got that, he put his picture here, stethoscope, and fixed it. And said, sir, this is my goal, this is my picture. Now, he's a very senior surgeon in one of the multi-speciality hospitals in Chennai. Why I am saying this? You should know the interplay between the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain. How the right side of the brain is a visual brain and how you can use that to visualize your future. Human being is the only species which can not only visualize how life should be, but also tap on the left side of the brain, get discipline, get the steps and implement it and reach this visualization. In my time management seminars, I make the children or the executives to do this chart, to draw this chart. The point I'm trying to tell you is a time management, quote unquote, because you cannot manage time, you can only manage the productivity or activities, is not just on a piece of paper. It is not by reading a book. It's not by just attending a training program. It is how do you integrate the various subcomponents of your mind, the brain, the buddhi and all that. I suggest you do a similar collage. Ask yourself, what is that you want to be in 10 years' time, long range goal setting. Make a visual, make a collage, fold it, keep it side. 10 years later you open, you will be shocked to find how you have reached it. See you in my next episode. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, share it, press the bell button. See you in the next episode. All the best.